Hello there, everyone. It's Teresa here. And before we jump into today's episode, I want to tell you about something brand new that we just started offering last month here at the Real Life Process. The Real Life Process, we help Christian coaches build out their businesses. And that can look like a lot of different things. It can look like a consultant, it can look like a spiritual director, it can look like a coach, either in life or leadership. It can look like someone who has a background in therapy or in counseling. All of those things can be supported by the tools that we have here at the Real Life Process. And last month, we started something brand new called the Real Life Process Accelerator Certification. It's a different way for us to help you become certified in the process and all the tools and the support and the community and the coaching that we have available for you. It really set you up well to come into 2026 with everything you need to grow, expand, or build your coaching practice. And maybe having that coaching background and experience is exactly what you need to come alongside you in work that you're already doing. So, the Accelerator program just means that you get to spend one day with me in a training. It's a great day to be together. And I absolutely loved the one that we did last month. They're very small, 3 to 4 people in the accelerator. We're offering it each and every month for the next 4 months. After the accelerator, you get to spend 90 days with us with other coach support, with video programs that you can learn from, and an amazing community of certified coaches. Look into the accelerator, check it out. Just go to our website and click on Get Certified. Go to thereallifeprocess.com, get certified, set yourself up well for 2026 and all that God has for you to lean into as you come alongside others in discovering their best real life. Now let's dive into the podcast. So, welcome in to Real Life Conversations for Christian Coaches. I'm your host, Teresa McCloy. I'm doing a solo episode this week because I have something that I want to share with you, an experience that I just went through. In fact, if you're watching live on YouTube, I'm still in the hotel room here in Boston, Massachusetts, where I came this weekend to experience something I thought I could never do. I want to share with you this story that struck me in ways that I didn't expect physically, mentally, and even spiritually. This weekend here in Boston, I actually ran a Spartan race here in Fenway Park. And this all happened through a casual conversation with some friends that I was with. I've been part of a speaking program the first 6 months of the year. And we were sitting around the table in Philadelphia at this program having dinner. My friend Nick Hutchison said, I'm hosting an event in November and it's called Book Thinkers. And I'd love to invite all of you come free as my guests. And we're like, wow, that sounds great. Many of us were authors around the table and had books and are very interested in promoting and marketing and growing our businesses with the books that we have. If you're new to the podcast, my book is called Do What Matters, Live from Rest, Not Rest, using the real life process. He tells us about this event and he said, oh, by the way, it's the weekend of the Spartan race in Fenway Park, and I have free tickets to that as well. I was gifted about 200 free tickets to give away as part of my event. And you should come do the Spartan race the day before and then come to my book thinker event. And everybody's like, yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. And I'm sitting there very quietly going, there is no way. I'd love to come to the event, but I can't do the race. Don't think I'm physically able, not up to the challenge mentally, not sure my health is good enough that I could complete it. The more we talked, the more they encouraged me. And this is just a wonderful group of people that are very encouraging. We've had each other's backs around all of this keynote speaking and the speeches we're developing and all of that. Many of the people that were sitting around the table were very physically fit. These are people that have been in the military. These are people that run marathons. These are people that do ultra marathon type things. And I just, to be honest, didn't fit in that group of people. And yet they encouraged me. They said, Teresa, you have 3 months, you can do it. You don't have to run. You can skip any of the obstacles that you can't do. You should just come for the experience. And so I said, yes. First, I said, there's no way. And then I said, I'll give it a try. So fast forward to this weekend. Here I am in Boston. I completed the race to the best of my ability, and it was an amazing experience. So I came home from that flight back in Philadelphia back in August, and I began walking every single day. I skipped a few days here and there, but for the most part, I began walking every day. And I saw, can I do a 5K? Can I walk that far? And I actually could. I walked out in the country. It was beautiful weather through August and September and October. And I actually did a 5K back in October, pushing my little grandson in his stroller, which was a feat in itself. But that showed me that I could do the distance without any problem. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't train a lot for the obstacles. And so as it got closer and closer, I had a lot of fear because you really don't know in a Spartan race, especially one done inside a stadium, which is called a stadion. You really don't know what the obstacles are going to be until you get there. They show them to you on the website, and I kind of really ignored them because I'm like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do these obstacles. And so I was really trusting my friends that I would be able to opt out of anything that I physically couldn't do. So I just want to walk you through kind of what happened and then what my learnings were with this race. I show up and I decided actually to start the race on my own because I figured all of my friends were going to catch up with me anyway. And many times, just in the way I'm wired, when I go in to do something new and hard and that I'm nervous or worked myself up over, for lack of a better way to say it, I showed up at 11 o'clock, checked myself in, and just took in the experience. We're in Fenway Park. The music is loud, the energy is high, and I'm surrounded by hundreds of people. And they start you in segments if you've never done this type of race, which I had not. And I get up to the starting line, and there's a man that say, 3, 2, 1, go. And we take off and we round this corner. And again, I'm walking, and right in front of me, there is a wall, a wooden wall that's maybe 4 feet tall, 4.5 feet tall. Not huge, but big enough it kind of stops me in my tracks. Again, I'm already very nervous. And I think, okay, I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm not going to be able to do this wall. And if all of the obstacles are like this, I'm not going to be able to complete this race. But I ran up to the wall and I started to go, okay, how am I going to get over this thing? And instantly, this guy comes up and he puts his hands down underneath so that I could step into his hands. And he said, "You've got this. I'll help you." And this woman about my age, I'm 64, and this woman my age or a little bit older turned around from her race and said, "I've got you," and held out her hand. And I knew kind of in that moment, it was a little bit of a God moment, that I could do this, that others were there with me and I could do this. And as I climbed over the wall, threw up my good leg because I have one bad hip, threw up my good leg. I got over the wall, and that woman said, "You've got this. You can do this." That was the beginning of when the race started for me. And I really dove in and I thought to myself, I can do hard things. And that first obstacle really taught me that the hardest part, sometimes even in our businesses, in our coaching practices, isn't the whole end of the project, the whole big thing. It's getting started. And we hear that from clients that I work with all the time. I just can't get started. I just can't get over this little obstacle, this little wall. But what if you reached out for help? What if you said, hey, is there someone that could help me? For the people that God has placed around me. These were total strangers for sure. And I didn't know what every obstacle would be because it is always different. And we don't know that in the projects that we develop. We can plan, we can prepare, we can put together what we call action steps for the projects that we have, either personally or professionally. But what happens is you build confidence with each action step that you take. So as I began walking, I'm like, I can do this. I can put one foot in front of the other and just keep walking. Fenway Park is so cool. It has so much history. And we wound our way through the entire Fenway Park. And as I come up this one ramp and I walk out and I can see all of Fenway and I can see participants all over the park, up in the green monster, in the stands, down on the field doing obstacles. I got more of the whole picture, what I often call up on the balcony. And I could see others doing it. I could see people like me doing it. It reminds me, there's a passage in Philippians that says, forget what's behind you and go towards what's ahead. So the way they had the course set up, I couldn't always see what was ahead, which was kind of a good thing. But every once in a while, we come out into the stadium and I could see others ahead of me. And that has always been inspiring for me is to see others ahead of me. I've always sought out others that were just a little bit ahead of me in the journey of business. And I think that's just such a beautiful thing, whether it's in our spiritual life or our business world or being mentored by our parents or those that are ahead of us on the life journey. It's just such a beautiful thing. And I thought of that as I looked out across the stadium and saw people. And the other part was that encouragement piece. That was my second learning. First one was I can do hard things. The second learning was the encouragement piece from total strangers. A little later in the race, I came up to a second wall. This one was about 6 to 6.5 feet tall. And I looked at it, I thought, there is absolutely like, I will hurt myself if I try this. I was watching people, many, many people, men and women, are going around this wall. And I thought, there's no way I can get over it. But in Spartan world, I've learned you have to attempt every obstacle, even if you just run up and grab it, whatever. So I ran up, I reached for the top, could not pull myself up. But again, two young guys, probably in their 30s, very fit, came over and said, you want help? Here's a foothold, holding out his hand again. And I laughed. I said, I appreciate you. But even with help, I knew I couldn't safely drop down to the other side. My legs just couldn't take that kind of landing. And so I walked around. But their willingness to help, it didn't make me magically strong enough, but it reminded myself that other people had my back. I walked up to one obstacle, which is to carry this large medicine ball. I thought, I can do this. We live on a farm. It's been a long time since I've helped to bale hay or throw bales around, but I knew that most of the time the bales weigh somewhere between 60 and 70 pounds. And if you use your legs, that you can pick them up. I looked at this round ball and I thought to myself, if I can get it up, I know my legs are strong enough. And I did. I got it up off the ground and I leaned into my back with my legs and I was able to carry it there and back. Again, other men and women cheering each other on. But I knew from past experience of what I'd done in the past that I could do that obstacle. And many times in our businesses, especially if we're newer into a business like coaching, we think, I don't know how to do this. And yet we can pull from our past experience, whether that's as a counselor or a therapist, whether that's as a coach in another area, whether that's in working on a team in the corporate space. You have past experience that you can draw from as you listen to others as a coach, as you walk them through maybe a framework like the real life process, a life management framework. You can draw from your own experience as you listen in. So that was really impactful for me to say, wow, I've done hard things before. I've done physical things before. And it invited me into that space, of just remembering the wholeness of who I am. The third point is that I learned first was I can do hard things. Second was the encouragement of others in anything we're doing is huge. And then the third thing was that remembering from past experience what I know how to do and what my body can remember how to do. And the fourth one is that after I was done, after I finished the race and I came through the finish line, and I did not complete every obstacle, but I attempted every one of them. And there was this one obstacle that you have to climb up on a great big Z metal piece of equipment, and it's pretty high. And again, I pulled from my past experiences like I've climbed to the top of grain bins. It's not as high as a grain bin. I can do this. But yet there were others going, "Oh, I couldn't do that because of my fear of heights." And so there are things that I learned that I'm capable of doing that maybe others aren't. And in some weird way, that encouraged me that I have my skills and gifts and talents and abilities, and others have other gifts and talents. I can't do the monkey bars. I couldn't climb a rope. I really have to work on my grip strength if I'm going to do this again, which is one small part that I can improve. But the last thing I learned is I really want to do this with others. I had a group of people that were there and we all celebrated with each other as we come across the finish line. But I really want to share it with my family. I'd really like to do something with others and introduce them to just what it feels to come across that finish line. Shared experience is so important to me. I love the shared experience time. I cannot say enough about pushing yourself to do something hard, something that you think is out of your comfort zone. Whether I ever do another Spartan race or not, I don't know. I love the ones that are in the stadiums because of the experience of being in the locker room and walking all over in places you don't normally get to go, being down on the field. Not even that much of a sports fan or a baseball fan, but just to picture yourself there with all of these other people doing hard things. Living from rest and not rush, which I talk about all the time, doesn't mean you avoid hard things. Rest is not a place to lay back on your laurels. It's an internal thing that we carry with us. It means being present enough as I was around that table that night to say, yes, wasn't on my bucket list. But for some reason, I felt a tug on my heart to say, you're really trying to lean into your health. And the 3 months that I trained and walked every day and created a new rhythm and pattern has been so impactful in my health journey. Maybe you're facing something even between now and the end of the year that you feel is something that's big and uncertain and hard and you want to face it. Or maybe in Q1, you're thinking about your business going forward. Maybe even something like joining our certification process and getting certified with tools. Maybe it's setting up a project that you know is going to impact your business greatly, but you know it's going to be hard. What would that be? I would love to hear from you. One of the things that was important to me when I flew home from Philadelphia back in August was to come home and tell some inner circle people that I was going to do this. I needed to say it out loud. And then I said it out loud to a few others, and then to a few others. And the more I said it out loud, the more that I walked, the more that I took the next actionable step, the more it became real. Just like last year when I said I was going on a sabbatical and I told some people, and then I did a little bit more, and then I shared a little bit more. You don't have to tell everyone, but if you need to tell someone, come tell me. Let me know. You can email me at Teresa at thereallifeprocess.com. You can join our free community by going to the reallifeprocess.com website, click on community. If you're not already in there, join our free community and message me. What is the hard thing? I hope you find the courage this week to say yes to something that stretches you. I know that doing this race was a 1 day thing, but yet the ripple effects that it has on me mentally, physically, and spiritually, I know will ripple for a long time to come. And I want you to have that experience too. I want you to do the hard thing, whatever that might be. We'll be back next week. Erica will be rejoining me as we come back into the coaching space. But I just wanted to share this journey with you, share this real life moment with you to encourage you as well. So thank you for joining me for this episode from Real Life Conversations for Christian Coaches. Just a little bit different, but so important as we think about our whole life, not just our business. This will have ripple effects into my business in so many ways. So I encourage you that you can do hard things. You can press on towards the goal to finish the race. Remember, friends, that every ordinary day has an extraordinary moment. You just have to look for them. We'll be back next week. Erica will be back in joining me as we continue conversations around coaching and growing your coaching business.